What's going on Facebook? It's Dennis. Wednesday, August 1st, 2018, 10:10 p.m. Eastern Time, 9:10 p.m. Central Time, 7:10 p.m. Pacific Time. I'm at a different location in my dining room doing Facebook Live tonight. And a couple of topics I want to talk about tonight. The Dallas Cowboys players will agree to stand for the National Anthem, all of them. And Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott is taking grief for saying that they will stand for the National Anthem. So I'm going to start off with that. I got a lot to say about that. And also I'm going to be talking about who I think is going to be the NFL MVP this season. Okay, I'm going to start off with the Cowboys agreeing to stand for the National Anthem. I'm going to get really into that topic, talk about it for a little while. Dak Prescott, the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, is taking grief for saying that he will stand for the National Anthem. He says nothing against what people are protesting. He just says that he's always stand for the National Anthem. He always stood for the National Anthem, and that's just the way the Cowboys always do it, which is true. The Cowboys didn't kneel last season, and Jerry Jones said all the players will stand. Okay. Dak never said he was against what the players are protesting. I think he even said that he'll even do something off the field. I'm not sure he said about that, but he said he has nothing against it. He's just going to stand for the National Anthem. And he's taking grief for it. The problem I have is that if everyone wants to have an opinion about kneeling or protesting at work, which you're not supposed to do. Everybody has to, and everybody says, oh, everyone has a right for free speech and express themselves. So you have to respect Dak's opinion on this topic. If he feels a different way, as a society, you can't get mad at what he says and how he feels about the issue. Everybody has a right to their opinion about this. Technically, you're not supposed to be protesting at work. That's probably why Dak doesn't want to kneel. It's not that he doesn't. He's against what people are the players are protesting, which is against police brutality and oppression of colors, black people, and minorities. He just said he's going to stand for the National Anthem. He's taking grief for it. He said it's not the time or the place, which is true. You're at work. You know, it's a time or a place to protest. It's nothing about the flag. It's just that it's a time and a place to protest. And he's getting grief for it, which I don't understand. So the problem I have is that if you have a different opinion that doesn't agree with opinion with you, what you think, the person who has a different opinion gets criticized for it, which really doesn't make any sense. He didn't say nothing disrespectful. He didn't say that the protest doesn't mean anything. It's not for a good cause or whatever. He just said that it's a time and a place, which it's true. It's a time and a place. When you protest, when people protest, they usually organize it. It's a way to protest. They plan it. They say, Tuesday, 5 p.m. or Tuesday, 10 a.m., whatever. Please show up and show support. They organize their protests in a place where it's appropriate. No one's stopping you to do it. You can plan whatever protest you want. You can protest whatever you want to fight and make a change about. You can protest. But people have this misconception that you have a right to protest. I mean, you can just do it anytime you want. You can't just protest any way you want. When people protest, they plan it. They don't just do it anywhere they want. They organize the protest. So I respect and understand what Dak and Zeke are talking about because they have a different way of doing it. They're not saying they're against it, but they're at work. They're in uniform. They're an employee, which I've been trying to say the whole time. So I've been saying this. It just takes one player to have a different opinion, and the other players will join in. Because I guarantee you, they're not the only two players that think like that. There are other players in the NFL that are on the other side of the fence. They're just scared to say it, which I've been saying for a while. Because not everybody's going to think alike. It's just no one has the courage to do it because they're afraid. I understood where Dak was coming from and his side of it, where it's not the time or place because you're in the workplace. And the NFL is a private company. So I've been telling people, I'm saying that the Constitution doesn't protect you in the workplace. Only protects you when you're a private citizen. And that doesn't mean you can protest anywhere. You can't protest like on a highway that's blocking traffic because you're mad about the world, about the country. Because people have places to go. It's a time and a place to protest. It is true. It's nothing insulting or against what you're doing, because with Dak having his side and his opinion, you have to respect his opinion and respect Zeke's opinion or anybody else's opinion on this issue. To me, it's not about it's not about the protest, because I understand when people are protesting. It's not about the protest. It's where you're protesting. And I think that gets lost in this whole thing. It's not about the protest. It's where you're doing it. Like, you're an entertainer. Still, that's your job. That's what you get paid for. You're an entertainer, and it's not insult. That's what you do for a living. You're an entertainer. You're in the entertainment business. It's a spectator sport. It's an event. So people go there to cheer to see if the team wins or lose, and those fans pay your salary as an employee. Those fans go out there, they pay your salary. So if they don't show up, then you're screwed. Everybody else is screwed. That's why we're saying this is a bad idea, because all this protest did was just make everybody just miserable. It didn't really solve anything. It didn't solve anything. It just made the country, everybody just show their real opinion about this, and it just caused chaos. And I can't blame Dak. You can't force somebody to agree with you. I always say that. I may never agree with what somebody's saying, but I'm never going to condemn them for their opinion. I may never agree with what you're saying. I never condemn anybody for their opinion. You can't force nobody to agree with you. And I think that's the problem right in this situation. People all look at this situation a different way. I understand what people are talking about. It's just you can't just do it there. You can't. And it's true. Anybody will tell you that it's true. No one can protest at their job. I always say this. People who are for this and saying that, oh, you're allowed to protest using your quote-unquote platform, which is not your stadium. I always tell people this. If you're so mad, how comes you don't protest at your job? Just go tomorrow. If you have work, go to your job and protest. Protest tomorrow. I always tell people that they never can answer me. You know why? Because they can't protest at work. They know what's going to happen. You can't protest inside the workplace. There's no place in America that lets you protest inside the workplace. It doesn't exist. I've never seen it. If I seen a place that lets you protest inside the workplace, I'll apply right now. I'll fill out a job application. There's no job that lets you protest in the workplace. None. When teachers protest, they do it outside. We see people protest outside Time Warner or Spectrum right now. They do it outside. No one does it inside, because your employer can tell you to get out. They can. You can get fired for protesting at work. You can get fired for protesting at work. No one and that's what the players are doing. They're protesting at work. Doesn't matter if the game didn't start. They're in uniform. When you enter that building, you go on the field, you're in uniform. You have to represent your team in the league. You're an employee. People keep forgetting that. There are no constitutional rights. That's what I'm saying. If you're a player, why would you protest at a place where your rights could be taken away from you? Your rights could be taken away from you if you protest there, because the owners could take it away. They have that legal right to take it away. They can take it away from you, or they can fire you. So why would you do it in that venue? That's my point. And with this whole Kaepernick thing, I think some of the people that were saying that stuff about him, they was actually looking out for him. But it got mixed up, because people try to say that you're bashing him and you're telling him not to do it, when they were actually looking out for him. Because that's why he doesn't have a job. Because you can't protest at work. That's why teams are afraid, because if they sign him, they think that he's going to do it again. And they're already trying to fix this mess already. Come up with a solution. If you bring him in, it's going to even be more of a headache. That's why he's not signed. If you protest there, they're afraid that he's going to do it again. Because I think he's been asked about it by the Seattle Seahawks. And then that's why it ended everything there when they invited him to a workout. And he wasn't sure. If you can't be not sure. You have to. He's a yes or no. So you can't protest at work. Everybody knows that, though. They're just scared to say it. I'm not scared to say it. I'm going to say it. It's the truth. I'm not picking sides. You can Google, are constitutional rights that protect you at work? You can Google it. And it will say no. So they're not doing nothing wrong here. I always tell people, protest at your job and tell me what happens the next day. No one wants to protest at their job. Nobody does it. Nobody does it. People, we always, in society, we always want people to do stuff that we'll never do. That we'll never do. We're never going to ask somebody to do something that we'll never do. Kneel. I always tell people, stop telling them to kneel. You're making it worse. One of the players on the Titans, a defensive end named Jarrell Casey, he said he's going to continue to do it. He'll take the fine. You think they're gonna forget him saying that? So when he's a free agent, his contract is up, and he's not signed, you'll know why. They told you not to do it. They told you not to protest, and you're gonna still do it. They have rules as a company. People forgetting that it's not a spring tournament at the park. It's a company. It's a business. Like you have a job, you go there, they work. They have rules. People keep forgetting that part. So I don't understand this constitutional rights. I hear people on TV, on radio saying constitutional rights. That's not true. Not in the workplace. It doesn't exist. It's invisible. Only protection from the government. And even that's not 100%. Because freedom of speech, you can't say anything anywhere. And then one in the Constitution, you're allowed to carry have bear arms. You carry a weapon with you. No, you can't. You have to have a license. So stop relying on the Constitution because it's not 100% guaranteed. Nothing in life is free. Nothing in life is free. So you gotta stop depending. Violating the First Amendment rights. Why I keep hearing people say on TV? I'm like, what rights? It doesn't exist. You're an employee. There's no rights. I don't know why. Why is that so hard to comprehend? There's no rights here. You work for someone who pays your salary. Nobody's saying you can't protest. You can protest. You can protest anything you want. On your free time, do whatever you want. But you just can't do it in the workplace. It doesn't allow it, and your boss could take it away from you. And people keep fighting it. I don't know why. The NFL will be the first company I could ever think of that let you protest inside the workplace. No company lets you work. None. That's why the NBA made a rule. They changed it and said that the players have to stand for the national anthem. I don't even know if it was collective bargain, but they just made a rule, and I don't hear no outcry over that. I don't hear nobody getting mad. Why? Why nobody gets mad at the NBA for making that rule? They violating their constitutional rights? I guess they are. According to everybody, they violating their constitutional rights because the players cannot protest. They have to stand for the national anthem. The NFL did. It's World War II. Why? And I think it's already in the game operations manual to stand for the national anthem. I think it was already in there. They just never enforced it because they never had to deal with this problem. They never had to deal with this problem. That's why they came up with this rule. But I think they already had it already. They had it in the game operations manual. But they just never had to deal with this before. They never thought this would ever happen. So you can't protest at a job. Like I can't make it more simple than what it is. 2 + 2 = 4. I can't make it any more simple. And I hear people, last year when people was just going crazy, they didn't know what was going on. They were just this, that. Oh, don't watch football. Why am I watching football? It's entertainment. It's entertainment. I'm going to always watch it. I love sports. That's what I do. I talk about it. I'm debating with people. I'm going to always watch it. Not watch. And the same people that are talking about, they're not going to watch in the summertime. I remember what you said in the summertime. Week 1, you're going to be watching it with me. I don't understand that. Like shows like Undisputed, they keep pulling this, like this like not even a sports show anymore. It's like turned into like a sports / social justice show. Because now they're talking about a lot of social justice issues. Like I said on my Facebook Live video like 2 videos ago, they know who their audience is. Shannon has to be like the voice of reason. And Skip just has to be politically correct. Because 1, Skip would be called racist if he was to agree with anything I'm saying. And 2, if Shannon was to agree with anything I'm saying, he'll look like a quote-unquote a sellout. So he's already deep in water. So he's already for this, for that. So if he changes up with anything, they'll turn on him just like that. That's why I always say you can never care what other people think. You can't live life that way. If you know what you're talking about and you believe in it, don't fall into the trap and just go with the crowd. Because now Shannon is just playing to the crowd. He's playing to the crowd. He's like the voice of reason on the show. And it's just turned to a social justice warrior show, and I'm sick of it. It's just turning traditional sports fans off. I can't remember the last time they had a baseball segment on Undisputed. Last time they had a baseball segment on Undisputed, they was talking about the home run derby. They probably talked about it for like 2 minutes because they don't really care because they know who their audience is. And Shannon Sharp talking about Chris Davis and Bryce Harper on the same level. He doesn't know anything about it. That's why they don't talk about it. He doesn't know anything about it. And they know who their audience is. So look, they talk social justice. The guests they bring on there are black movie stars and rappers, rap stars, and they talk about the NBA and the NFL. Who's the audience for? If you could figure it out. That's what it is. So they have to play to the crowd. You can't think like that. You have to go with how you feel. Like, I mean, it's like Dak is getting crucified for saying that he's gonna stand for the national anthem. He never said he's against the thing, but he's at work. And I like somebody who think for themselves. They're not just going with the crowd. Because he could have did the same thing that Kaepernick has been doing. He could have did it off the field, and no one will bother him. Kaepernick did it on the field, which was a dumb idea. He did it on the field at work, where the owners can take it away from you. And you did it in a private company. He did it in a private business. Not his fault, because he didn't kneel. Someone told him to do it. Because at first he was sitting. And the next game, someone said, all right, you want to do this? Kneel. Because I think it was the second game when he started kneeling when somebody asked him why he did. When he was sitting, I don't think nobody noticed. It was till he started kneeling, because someone, Nate Boyer, who was in the military, told him to do it. He told him to kneel. You can't protest at work. People know that, or they're afraid to say it, or if they didn't know, they know now. You can't protest at work. You can't. So when I heard Jarrell Casey on the Titans say, oh, he's going to continue to do it, and he doesn't care the fine, he'll pay the fine. When his Titans contract is over, he's done. He's going to end up like Eric Reed and Kaepernick. He's not going to play. He's history. Then they're going to forget what he said. That's what I'm saying. Stop kneeling. Stop saying that. What are you doing? You're in a $1 billion corporation. You're working for somebody who has a lot of power. People don't think. They just talk and not think before they talk. You can't protest at work. You can't. I didn't make the rule. It is what it is. If I'm running a business and I'm losing revenue, and I find out you're the reason why, I can get rid of you. You're costing me money. That's what is happening here. They're losing revenue in the NFL. Even though the owners are billionaires, they're driving the customers away. And they're like, oh, wait a second. See, but they're in a tight spot. Because the NFL, if they make one, that's why they made this rule where the players stand for the national anthem, they go out there, they have to stand, and others could stay in the locker room. They're trying to appease both sides. That's why they're so stuck in this. They don't know what to do. They're stuck and they don't know what to do. They don't want to drive the diehard fans who just care about the football, but they still don't want to lose those fans who are fans, but they care about the social justice stuff as well. That's why they made this rule. They don't know what to do. Because if they make everybody stand, they're going to be called racist. But if they allow the protests, it's going to drive some of the customers away, the fans, because they don't want to watch that. So they're stuck. You just got to come up with a rule and get this over with, because it's annoying. Even some of the sports shows sports talk shows say it's annoying. It's 3 years now. We're still talking about this. It's annoying. There are other people that feel like that they just don't have the courage to do it, but I'm going to say it for them. People are annoyed and sick and tired. People want to get back to talking about who's the best wide receiver. They don't want to talk about this every day. It's ways you can always help out off the field. But like I always tell people, you can never save the world. That's impossible. Slavery ended, but racism will never end. My brother told me that. And it's true. Racism will never end. So we always could try to make things better, but you can't end it completely. It's always going to be racism. You can't stop that 100%. You can't stop it 100%. You can't save the world. Police brutality doesn't only happen in America. It has happened in other parts of the world, but no one's talking about that. And racism and police brutality aren't the only problems we have in this country. We have plenty of other issues that ails this country, but no one's talking about that though. They just want to do stuff that benefits them. It's hard to save the world. Like I said, you can always do things to make it better, but if you want to make a change, it always starts with yourself. It always starts with the individual, which is yourself, if you want to make change. And as a society, we can't keep, especially as black people, if we're moving up and doing well in society, we can't degrade somebody who's making it, up to the higher level. That's why as a society, we don't go anywhere as black people. Because we're always putting each other down. They don't support each other. They don't do nothing. Somebody's trying to make it up on top. Oh, you're changing. You're acting different. You're acting funny. See, that's the problem. We always have to be. That's why we're always on a low level. Other races support each other. They don't downgrade each other. Like Dak had an intelligent comment. Like he said why he's standing for the national anthem. He said as intelligent as he can, and he's getting crucified for it. They're degrading him for saying that. Black people. So let me get this straight. People say, "Oh, you have a right to your opinion, voice your opinion." But if something that you don't like, they crucify you for it. So you're basically forced to agree with them. There's no such thing as right to an opinion. You have to just agree, or by default. You just have to agree. And it's just sad. But I'm saying, Dak is not the only player that thinks like this. There's other people. Some people are tired of it. I'm tired of it. I tell people all the time in person, I'm tired of this. What's the next step? You knelt. What's the next step now? How is kneeling going to stop a racist cop from killing somebody? He's not going to stop it. If that cop was racist at the beginning of his shift, he's going to be racist when he goes home. He's not going to listen to you. All kneeling did was just make this be chaos. It was for a good cause, but then what's the next step now? Then you're just going to continue to do it. So basically, when they kneel, the way I look at it is that, okay, I'm mad about what's going on in the world, and I'm going to take it out on my job. That's what it looks like to me. All right, I'm mad what's going on with this, so I can't do nothing about it, so I'm going to come to my workplace and send my frustrations at my workplace. You're at work, you're working for guys who have over $1 billion owners. You can't go to a high corporation like that and protest. That's insane. Throw your whole career away? People always saying, oh, it's not about the money, it's about my people first. But then you always saying you run into the money, you hear the hustle, it's all about the money. So which one is it? I'm not throwing nothing away. If I'm getting paid like that and I have the talent I worked hard to make the NFL, I'm going to be a football player. I'm going to do my stuff off the field, but I'm not going to kill myself for people who don't really care about me. Because look, Kaepernick did what he did, and no one's putting money in his pocket. He hasn't played the last year. No one's putting money in his pocket. He did everything for everybody, and now what's happening now? He gets rewarded for that? What's the reward? He's not getting rewarded for it. No one's putting money in his pocket. Like, people have to just think for themselves. You can't just be caring what other people think. Dak didn't care what other people think. He didn't change his mind on what he thought. He said standing by his comments. I applaud him for it because he's not afraid. We live in a scared society to voice your opinion. Everybody tries to shut other people up. Everything has to be so politically correct so other people won't get mad. It's the truth. You can't protest at work. Anybody will tell you that. You can't protest at job. Everybody knows that. Shannon Sharp knows that. Skip Bayless knows that. All of them know that on TV. They can't go to Undisputed and for the first 10 minutes kneel before the show starts. They can't do that. I mean, while the show's going on. They can't do that. People went there to watch, like, what are they doing? It's a time and a place where it doesn't interfere with anything. And that's why I applaud LeBron for what he did, because he took his own money out of his own pocket and he did it in the offseason. He didn't do it interfere with nobody. Because look, tell me one person that complained about what he did. He did it smart. He did it in the offseason. He did it away from the workplace. That's what everybody else should have been doing. That's why I applaud guys like Malcolm Jenkins and Chris Long. They've been doing stuff in the community. They've been I heard they've been visit police stations. And they rode with the police. They try to make a real change. But if you're a black person and you're with the police, you're like a sellout. So how do you expect change to happen, but you're going to complain, but you want change to happen? That doesn't make no sense. It really doesn't make any sense. You want change to happen, but when the people do it, try to make a change, you have a problem with it. You can't win. That's why I say forget what people think. Do what you do. Do what you're doing in a positive way. If you like football, watch football. Don't watch football because somebody told you not to watch it. It's ridiculous. Like I always say, if this happened in the NBA, would you really care? Who's going to really say to not watch the NBA Finals? If this happened in the NBA, I'm going to watch it too. I don't care. Because whatever happened to that particular player, I've been watching the NBA before they were there. It's sports. It's entertainment. People go there to have a good time. And watch on TV. So NFL has to come to a conclusion with this because this is annoying. No one wants to talk about this all year long. They're going to have to come up with a solution before the season starts. Everybody just stand and you just say, all right, this is the rules. We respect what you're doing. We'll help you on the off field, in the off season, off the field. But this everybody has to stand. Just like the NBA. Boom, take it or leave it. And call it a day. Who cares? Can't protest at a job anyway. So I should give the NFL right to say, all right, You have to stand for the national anthem. You can't protest. And the Players Association is going to have to agree with that. Everybody just wants to get back to football. Cause they made their point. They talked about this the whole year. People are tired of it. I know people are tired. They're scared to say it. They're afraid. They're afraid to say it. They're so scared. They care what other people think. People are tired of watching this. I don't go through a whole year with this. It's annoying. It really is. And people are saying, "Oh, like the more you tell them to kneel, you're just making it worse on the players." That's why I think if it kind of went away, I think Kaepernick would probably would have had a job. But people just keep saying, no, fight for what you believe in, fight for what you believe in. And I was like, all right, why would I bring in this guy? He's going to protest again and hurt my business. I'm thinking of it like as a businessman, from a business perspective. That's how they think. That's how they're looking at it. They think if they sign him, he's going to do it again. They don't trust him. They think he's going to protest again. He's going to start chaos again. That's why he's not signed. And also the reason why he's not signed is because he's suing the NFL. When you sue somebody, it's over for you. It's hard to get in the job when you're suing your employer. It's hard. You sue them and then they're going to hire you. He's filing a lawsuit that he's not going to win for collusion. But people don't understand that the longer he drags the owners into court, he's sealing his fate to get back in the NFL again. He'll never play in the NFL again. If he continues this lawsuit and he drags the owners through court and through hell, no one's gonna hire him. That's why I'm saying he just dropped the lawsuit. He's not gonna win and he's making it hard for him to get a job. Eric Reid should drop the lawsuit too. I think Eric Reid would have probably got a job before Kaepernick if he didn't sue the NFL. Because he's not as well known as Kaepernick, so someone would have signed him. But when he automatically just say he's gonna file a lawsuit, it's over for him. It's done. His career is over. If you sue your employer, it's hard for him to hire you. If he drags the owners into court, he'll never play in the NFL again. He's sealing his fate when he does that. People are fail to realize that the NFL is a business. It's a company. Everybody's saying, "Oh, do this," and no one does it. No one goes to their job and kneel. No one protests. People always saying for these guys to do this, and they don't do it themselves. They're just talking. They don't do it themselves. So I give Dak and Zeke credit because they're not afraid. Whether you agree with what they say or not, agree with it, they have the courage to not be afraid. They're not scared. And I respect anybody who's not scared. They weren't scared. They weren't. They have people on TV and criticizing them. Why? That's what I'm saying. If you have a different opinion, you're a sellout. You're not being sellout. You're being smart. Dak is smart. He knows you can't protest at work because you can get fired for him. It's hard for you to get another job. He's not being a sellout. People who saying he's a sellout, but they don't protest at their job. That's why I don't get it. I'm lost. You say he's a sellout, but you don't protest at your job. Why? Why don't you do it? How come you don't protest at your job? Because you know it's gonna happen. So that's hypocritical. You're telling somebody else to do something so they can get their job, so they can lose their job, but you won't do it yourself. Your employer has the power to get rid of you if you protest at work. The Constitution doesn't protect you from it. That's what people fail to realize. But I just want this thing to go away. I'm sick and tired of talking about it. I want to get back to talking football again. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I really don't want to talk about it. It's annoying. It really is. It is. A lot of people think it's annoying. They just scared to say it, so I'm going to say it for them. It's annoying. I say all the time it's annoying. Not in the big picture, not what they're talking about in the big picture, because what they're talking about is good, but what's the next step now? We're still at step one, the kneeling part. All right, what's next? You knelt, you made your point, what's next now? Like Mike Francesa, a radio host, who's my favorite. I look up to him. He's my idol in the sports business, a radio talk show host who knows sports really, really well. He's saying, how comes DeMaurice Smith, who's the head of the Players Association, and like 15, 20, 25 star players take money out their own pocket and go to City Hall and protest? NFL can't do nothing. City Hall can change laws. No one's doing nothing. That's another problem I have with this. People are just kneeling, but they're not doing nothing else. So how do I know if you really care about this or not if you're just kneeling and not doing nothing else? I don't see none of these players do nothing in the offseason, do nothing during the week, but just kneel. You kneel and you just get everybody miserable. So how do I know if you really care? How legit are you about this issue if you're not doing nothing to make it better? And that's a great idea. Go to City Hall, take like 15, 20, 25 stars, the Players Association, DeMaurice Smith, all of them can go there, take money out their own pocket on their own time, and go to City Hall. They can make changes. The NFL can't do nothing. No one does that, though. They just complain and say, I'm a protest. Why are you protesting at the NFL stadium? Let me tell you why they're protesting the NFL stadium. Because if they did it the way a proper protest was supposed to happen, they know that no one will show up. So they do it at the stadium because they know people bought their tickets and they enter the stadium and they can't leave. They already bought this. They already bought their tickets. Like, all right, we got them. We got people. We got our attention. Because if they did it like a regular protest, all the people who are quote unquote supporting them, they know no one's going to show up. No one's going to care. And they know that no one's going to care. No one's going to show up. That's the problem. That's why they're not doing it that way. They're doing it in the stand because they know, all right, everybody's at the stand. Let's do our thing. They're stuck. They're stuck now. They bought their ticket. They can't get out. No refund. So they do it in the NFL stand where everybody can watch them. Because they did a regular protest in some field somewhere on a parking lot, they know no one will care about what they're doing. They won't show up. And it's true. They won't show up. So they use the NFL stand because they know they got people. And people on TV like, all right, bam, we got everybody. Because everybody's looking forward to watch a football game. We're going to protest. And everybody's going to watch us do it. That's why they're not doing it nowhere else. They have so much money. They make so much money. They have power to make a change if they really care about that. And they're not doing nothing with it but just kneeling. That's what I'm saying. I think some of them are just kneeling just for the hell of it. Because maybe people are pressuring them to kneel. I don't even know if half of these guys really care about this. That's what I'm saying. What's the point? All right, Neil, what's next? Like, Neil's not doing nothing. It's not. It just causes people to argue every day about it, and it's annoying. People watch sports to have fun. They don't want to think about this. All right, I'm going to watch football, and I got to think about this. This is added towards it. Go to the Eagles-Giants game. All right. On your ticket it says Eagles versus Giants. 1 o'clock, 4:25, whatever the game starts, 8:30. Eagles versus Giants on your ticket. Protest included. It doesn't say that on there. It doesn't. I didn't go there to watch that. No one went there to watch at that moment. Like, if you're going to do it in a different setting, yeah, I'll show up. I'll show up and support. I'm not going to do an NFL field. People are going to go watch a game. People went there to watch a game. So I understand what Dak and Zeke, where they're coming from. And I'm telling you, other players are going to start talking out. And then when other players start talking out, people are going to start saying, all right, we understand where they're coming from. Because once a lot of people come out, then everybody is going to have to cover. Just need to take 1 or 2 people. And Pac-Man Jones also said he agreed with them. He said that, well, I think he agreed for, he said that you should stand for National Anthem for a different reason. Because he said he had family members that died in Iraq. So he's doing it for the soldiers in the military. No one criticizing him. They know not to criticize him. Guys on TV and radio, you don't hear him saying anything about him. Like, you can't have an opinion. You can't. If you think different, you're a sellout. It's sad. It really is. It's just silencing people. That's dangerous. If people have something to say and it's for a good reason, you can't shut people up. You can't criticize somebody for having an opinion that's different than yours. You could respectfully disagree, but you can't disrespect them and name call them and downgrade them. That's not right. It make them feel bad because they have a different opinion than yours. That's not the way to do it. It really isn't. It's just sad. Dak said that how he feel about it and then he's getting crucified for it. But he doesn't care. He doesn't care what people think. That's one thing I like about Dak. I know I'm not a Cowboys fan. He doesn't care what people think. He don't let that bother him. He say he's not changing his mind what he said. Some people will backtrack and say, oh, I didn't mean this. No, he know what he meant, and he's sticking with it, and I respect that. And a lot of people is going to start doing it. That's why the NFL should just come up with a ruling and end it. Like, stop with this, we offend this side, Just come up with a rule and end it because this is annoying. No one wants to, I don't want to see this no more. They made their point, and all right, what's next? What's the next step? So by when the season starts, they have to come up with a ruling All right, this is the rules. Take it or leave it. Because people forget at the end of the day, it's a business. It's a private company. The government, the Constitution doesn't protect you from private companies. It doesn't. It doesn't protect you from private companies. So you can't just protest whenever you want because they're in someone else's stadium and they're protesting someone else's jersey. They're in a jersey that's not theirs. They're in a uniform that's not theirs. So people keep saying quote unquote platform. It's no platform. You're working. You're an employee. You're a performer. That's what you are. That's what they paid you to do. You're being paid millions of dollars to do it. I wish I got paid millions of dollars. You're an employee. That's what you are. So I understand where Dak and Zeke coming from. They say they're gonna stand for the national anthem. They're not scared to say it. There's other players thinking like that. They're just scared to say it. They weren't scared. And I can't get mad at Jerry Jones. I can't. There's no owner in the NFL protects their players, the black players, more than Jerry Jones. If you watch football, no other player protects their player, defends their players more than Jerry Jones. You know how much incidents his players had off the field and he's been sticking with them? Like last year, he's defending Ezekiel Elliott. He's by his play. He's a player's owner. He sticks by his players. And he's getting crucified because he made his rule. People understand he's the owner and he has that kind of power to do that. So people always talk, but you always have to. You can't be afraid and care what people think. You can't, because you're gonna end up just like them. You can't care what other people think. And Dak and Zeke didn't care what other people thought. They said it and they got destroyed for it. But who cares? You can't care what other people think. You really can't. So that's why I think NFL got to make a rule. It is what it is. And you can't please everybody and move on. We got to move on from this. We can't have another year with this hanging over him because it's sad. They have to come up with a ruling. Take it or leave it. And that's what it is. People are going to be mad a little bit about it, but then they understand that's the rule. But I don't think they're necessarily mad at how the players are going to react. They're mad about social media and the backlash they're going to get from the public. That's what it is. Because if they make a certain rule, then people are going to say, oh, they're racist. And they don't want to be called that. They're scared. They care what other people think. So that's why they backed off with this ruling. Well, oh, you stand for the national anthem, you go in the locker room. Now they're trying to revisit it. They're afraid. And they also don't want to tick off the other side of the customers because if they sign Kaepernick, they're afraid that people don't want him in the NFL and they're going to lose customers. They're afraid. That's what they are. They're scared. Because they think he's going to do it again. And it's going to drive the customers away. The fans. That's why they're not signing him. And he's suing the league. So you sue the league, it's over for you. No one's going to hire you, sign you. They're the only league that has this problem. The NBA, you have to stand for the national anthem. And no one gets mad. That's a double standard. No one gets mad at the NBA for making that rule. No one complains. They don't care. If, like I said, the NBA finals happen, no one's not going to watch it. If it's Lakers Celtics, no one's not going to watch it. That's why I would love to see, all right, for the NBA finals, I want to see the players just kneel the whole time. I don't want them to play. I want the NBA finals, I want everyone to kneel. I want to see what's the reaction is. People, of course, you're going to be mad. All right, you made the point now. Let's get the game going. Let's get started. All right, you knelt. Okay, what's next? Like I always tell people, you can't save the world. It's impossible. It's impossible to save the world. You could improve to make it a little bit better. You can't save the world. You want to quote unquote save the world. Like I said, it always starts with yourself. As an individual, you, the individual, starts with yourself. That's how you save the world. So, I say kudos to Dak and Zeke. Now, I don't care what people think about my opinion. I don't care what other people think. I never changed my mind. Oh, this person said what I said and they disagree with. Oh well, I'm not other people. So I'm gonna stick with what I believe, and I know everybody knows that you can't protest at work. Everybody knows that you can't protest at work. No job lets you protest on the job. No job, no companies allowed. They could tell you to get out. The NFL tell you to get out. It's a business. They're employees. They get paid. They're protesting the jersey that's not theirs. Everybody knows that. They're just scared to say it. So that's my whole thing with the Dak and Zeke thing. I just feel like people are just going crazy on Dak and Zeke. for their comments, and I think it's just ridiculous. You can't condemn somebody for having a different opinion than you. You could disagree with anything you say, anybody says, but you can't condemn them for saying it. And I feel like that's what was going on TV and radio. Like the radio show, The Breakfast Club, Charlemagne, he's always giving somebody donkey of the day because something that he doesn't agree with. But he's like the last person to be giving somebody donkey of the day, the stuff he's been going through recently. So I'll be quiet if I'm him. But he gives Dak donkey of the day because he's a quote-unquote social justice warrior. And he feel like Dak is like against what he's saying. So he gives him donkey of the day for that. When Dak didn't say nothing wrong. Dak didn't say nothing wrong. And he's crucifying for it. That's what I'm talking about. If you're a black person and you have a different opinion than theirs, they crucify you for it. And that's wrong. You can't crucify somebody if I have a different opinion than you. You can't do that. It's not right. That's not right. Everybody's saying, oh, that NFL is racist, it's plantation. It's a job, it's a company, it's a private company, which makes it even worse to do that. Why would you protest at a job when you don't have no power? Where they have the power and you don't? That makes no sense. Fight for what you believe in their power. They have the power in their hands. That makes no sense. It doesn't. So, I respect what Dak and Zeke for having their own opinion. You could disagree with what they're saying, but they're not afraid. They weren't afraid to say it, and I respect it. It's like you want people to understand where you're coming from about this whole case. You got about protesting at work, which you can't do anyway. You gotta understand where Dak and Zeke is coming from. About they said they're gonna stand for the national anthem. Jerry Jones said every Cowboys player is gonna stand for the national anthem. He's the owner. They play for him. They collect a check from him. So that's how it is with this whole situation with the Dak and Zeke thing. So I respect where they're coming from for having their own opinion. They're not afraid. All right, NFL MVP. Well, I think it's gonna be MVP. I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna be the MVP this year. I think having Jimmy Graham is gonna be really, really good for him. I think Jimmy Graham is gonna look like the Jimmy Graham we saw in New Orleans. Not the Jimmy Graham that played in Seattle, because they didn't use him properly. You'll see Jimmy Graham that was playing with Drew Brees in New Orleans. So you're gonna look like that. Rodgers and Graham is gonna be the best touchdown quarterback to tight end combination in the league this season, especially in the red zone. When Jimmy Graham is a monster in the red zone, you make him cross the middle in traffic, and he's so tall and he has huge hands. Go up across the middle and score in the red zone. So I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have an MVP. I think he's going to be an MVP. I know some other people. Brady's going to be a candidate. Carson Wentz is going to be a candidate. A couple other people is going to be candidates, but I think Aaron Rodgers is going to win MVP this year. He's going to be his third MVP. He's going to have a really breakout season. And he's motivated that the Packers didn't re-sign Jordy Nelson. They didn't bring back Jordy Nelson. And I think they're going to use that as a motivation to play all season. And because of his injury last year. So he's highly motivated. I think he's going to be on a tear. I think he's going to win MVP. I really do. I think he's going to win MVP. He's going to be on a tear. And it's going to be fun to watch because he's an exciting player. I would love to see a player from a different position win MVP, maybe like a running back or wide receiver or play on defense, but it's very hard. It's like, to me, like the quarterback position is turned into the MVP award is basically for quarterbacks because they have the ball in their hand a lot. Every time they touch it. But like if you're a wide receiver and you try to win MVP and your stats are great, they're going to give that MVP to the quarterback. Because, all right, my stats is good, but his stats is good as well. So they give it to the quarterback. It's very rare cases that the wide receiver wins MVP. Well, the wide receiver never won MVP in the regular season. They won Super Bowl MVP, but they never won regular season MVP. The quarterback has to look like complete garbage, and you have to lift their game up as a wide receiver, and then they start playing better when you were making plays. That's the only way you can win it. Because last year, Antonio Brown was an MVP candidate, and I really believe he's going to win MVP. He's going to be the first wide receiver in NFL history to win MVP. I think he could have. I thought he could have won it if he played that game in Week 15 versus the Patriots last season. And he didn't get knocked out the game like in the second quarter and get hurt. And the Steelers won that game, and it was for the number one seed against the Patriots for the number one seed in the playoffs in the AFC, and they won. Antonio Brown had a big game. I think he would have won a regular season MVP that year. I really do. Last year, I really do think so because he was an MVP candidate going into that game. In that play when Ben Roethlisberger threw to Juju Smith-Schuster on a flat, and he ran and he scored about no, he didn't score, but he got in the play about like 60 yards, and Juju Smith got tackled inside the 20-yard line. I think if Antonio Brown had got the ball, I think he would have scored from that part of the field. And that would have iced it right there for him to be MVP. That would have put gave him some brownie points to legitimately be an MVP, be the first wide receiver in NFL history to win MVP. I think Antonio Brown could have had it. But it's hard for a wide receiver to win MVP. So it's usually quarterbacks are usually candidates. If a defensive player wins MVP, they have to like wreck the game. They have to have a lot of sacks. It depends what position you are. If you're a linebacker, you have to have a lot of sacks. You have a forced fumble, maybe a pick six, a scoop and score. You gotta like really have like a dominating like season. Your defense have to be a dominating defense, and you have to have a really great record. So it's hard for a defensive player to win MVP. Like back in the day when Lawrence Taylor was wrecking the game and he won MVP, you have to have it on that level. Maybe Von Miller could probably win it. Could be one of those guys that probably do, but it's very hard. And this day and age, the defensive player, they can't touch anybody. The rules are bent for the offense, so it's hard for a defensive player to win MVP in the NFL. So it's going to go to a quarterback. I think it's going to go to Aaron Rodgers. I think he's going to win it. Carson Wentz was probably as a candidate, but I don't know how he's going to come back from the ACL injury, and I don't even know if he's going to start the season. So I think Rodgers is going to be the MVP. Having Jimmy Graham there, it's going to help. He's going to help. So I think Rodgers is going to be the MVP this season. I really do. I think he's going to be the MVP. I'm just looking forward to the season because the season is a little bit over a month away. September 6th is a Thursday night opener with the Falcons versus the Eagles. All the games are Sunday on September 9th. The local teams, the Jets play on Monday night football against the Lions September 10th. The Giants play 1 o'clock versus the Jaguars September 9th. I'm looking forward to that game because you already have Jalen Ramsey talking about Odell. Odell Beckham Jr. versus Jalen Ramsey. That's a matchup to watch in that game. They're going to be talking trash the whole game. It's going to be fun. I'm going to love it. That's the matchup I want to see. Like I said in my video yesterday, the Giants have a tough schedule. They could potentially start off the season 0-6. They have to win that game versus the Jaguars in Week 1 because their schedule is not any easier after that. They have to beat the Jaguars in Week 1. That's like a playoff game right there. A season opener at home versus the Jaguars, who was the best defensive team in the league last year. The Giants got to win that game because it gets hard after that. They could potentially start off the season 0-6. And if you're 0-6 in the NFL, you can kiss your playoff hopes to goodbye. Your season's already over. So they have to win that game versus the Jaguars because they have a tough schedule right after that. A lot of hard teams. So that game, that Week 1 game is a tough one. They have to win. I think they are going to win. The Jaguars have an elite defense, though. Well, I think the Giants, they have to win that game. So I'm looking forward to the season. I can't wait for it to start. And I don't want no controversy. I don't want no anthem issue. I just want to get to the game because I don't want to see this. I'm not saying I don't care about it or nothing like that in the big picture, but we already get the point, and what's the next step? You can't have it both ways. You can't say, oh, all right, let them protest. You want change, and they don't want to do nothing else. But then other people want to watch a game, and then this is going on. It's not fair. It really isn't fair. All right, but that's it for tonight. Those are the two topics I want to talk about. I want to talk about the Dak and Zeke thing mostly because it had to be said. People getting wrong information. I'm gonna keep bringing it up. People keep saying it's a constitutional right. It's not. It's not a constitutional right. You can't protest inside the workplace. That's what the players are doing. They're protesting in the workplace, and they could be disciplined for it. So it's nothing new. It's not a secret. So I had to get that out of the way and clear everything. All right, thanks for watching my video, everybody. It's 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, and I'm getting ready to go out and get out of here. Everybody have a safe and good night. Peace.